do not be deceived. These are not Ore-Ida waffle fries. If you've ordered from Azure Standard before, you know they reuse boxes and they pack things really super well and super tight. So a lot of times you'll get a box and you're like, that's not what I ordered. Don't worry, that's not what's inside the box, most likely. First, I want to take a second to say welcome. If you are new here, my name is Amanda Willis. I empower families to wellness authentically through biblically rooted principles, things like stewardship of our bodies, of our resources, of our environment, and honoring created order, and all of those kind of things. So I have favorite resources that I share with you guys a lot. And today is Azure Standard. We order a lot of our food in bulk from them. I just started doing this a couple years ago, and it has made such a huge difference in our pantry. It is an adjustment when you first start ordering in bulk, but friends, if you do it smartly and you do it wisely and you're ordering things that your family will use and go through and that you can rotate through, then you actually end up saving a lot of money. Now, you can order bulk and you can waste a lot of money and think you're saving and end up spending a lot more if you're not doing it smart. So you want to be smart about it, and you want to take inventory and evaluate and see what is your family using, and maybe you don't need quite as much of that on your next order, and you might want to switch some things out after a while. But one of my favorite things to order bulk is herbs. So we are going to dive right on in, and this is what a pound of bay leaves looks like. If you've ever wondered what a pound of bay leaves look like, they don't weigh very much. So it's a lot of bay leaves. Now, I make a whole lot of bone broth, and so we use a whole lot of bay leaves. If you're not using bay leaves, then don't buy a pound of bay leaves, right? But these are, they do not have, I don't think these are certified organic ones. I didn't see those. At least they weren't in stock if they had them, but they are non-GMO, and Azure takes really good care to make sure that they're getting the cleanest stuff possible for you. So I have no problem doing these non-GMO 1 pound of bay leaves. Then continuing on with spices, most of the stuff I think that we ordered this month, oh shoot. Pretend like I'm holding 3 5-gallon buckets and 3 gamma lids. We'll pretend like those are here. Shoot, I forgot I had those too. Those are downstairs. I already took them down to our pantry, our bulk pantry storage that's down there. And I was wanting to get them off of our main level. And so they're already away in storage. They're not filled yet, but they are downstairs. So we did get 5-gallon buckets and gamma lids. I will say that Azure is not the cheapest place to get your gamma lids and actually the lids might have been, if I remember correctly. When I priced them out a couple years ago, it was cheaper to get them through either Home Depot or Lowe's, and it depended on the day. We do not have a Lowe's here in Casper. We do have a Home Depot, but the stock issues, for me, the cost was a negligible thing to get the ease of getting them at the same time I was picking up the rest of our food and not having to make an extra trip and an extra order and then remember to go get it. Sometimes that opportunity cost really, weighs in and is the deciding factor. So for me, that's where that has ended up with some of our 5-gallon bucket stuff. So I did get a couple more of those because last year I ordered 50 pounds of rye berries and they're still sitting in the bag. So we're gonna get those transferred. And going back to the spices, let's circle back. Cumin seeds. We do a lot of taco seasoning. We do Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. I like to do my own home blended seasonings and stuff too. So I think I got a pound of almost all of these, right? So a pound of cumin seeds looks way different than a pound of your bay leaves. But also, I could have ordered ground cumin, but I went with the whole cumin seed instead because some of my recipes call for cumin seeds, some call for ground cumin. I found that when I make tacos and I put in the whole cumin seed, you can't tell that it wasn't the powder, and we don't mind having the seed in there. It's not very big, and it's not a weird texture or anything. So I like them. It's cheaper than buying ground. And then if I really need ground, I can always pop these into our coffee grinder / spice grinder. I wash it out in between if I'm gonna do spices, but I can always pop some in there and grind them. And then that way I don't have, the whole seed will last longer than once you grind it. You know, think of like a wheat berry. It starts to lose nutrition once you crack it. Just like anything, an apple, when you cut it, starts turning brown. The cumin seed will start to lose its nutrition when it's ground too. So if you can wait and grind it till right when you need it, that's awesome. You could also grind just a little bit in small batches if you wanted to do it that way. I just like a lot of times throwing in the seed. So there you have it. And then we also ordered some rosemary this month as well. This is, I believe, a pound, right? Yes, 16 ounces. So that is 1 pound of organic cut and sifted rosemary. And again, I want to do my own Italian seasoning blend. That is one that I haven't done yet that I really want to get on hand. But I think I still need basil, which I ordered and then it was out of stock. So hopefully our basil will be coming next month. And ideally, if I can keep our basil plants this year away from the birds in our backyard. We found when we moved them out front, they did better. So if I can keep them out front this year and away from the birds, then maybe, just maybe I'll have enough to dry our own basil and do our own basil seasoning next year. Same thing with the rosemary. Last year, the birds decimated our herbs in the backyard between the birds and the squirrels. Cayenne kept the squirrels away, but it did nothing for the birds. So I had them in a little planter and we just have a ton of birds that love our backyard. It's not a terrible thing. They really help with insects, but it is a bad thing when they're eating your plants. So we're just finding what we have to move to different areas. And last up, we actually have 2 bags of these. One just happens to already be in our kitchen because hubby wanted it ASAP. This is some organic Sancha green tea. It is loose leaf, and I went ahead and ordered 2 packs of it. Probably could have done some bigger. Sometimes the bigger you go, the more you save per ounce, but also I wanted to, 1, make sure that we liked this one because we haven't ordered it before, and 2, sometimes you have to do what works in your budget for that month, and we needed green tea, and the bigger one wasn't going to work in our budget for this last month. So I went with 2 smaller ones and got us what we need to get through. And then if we really like it, I'll order some more. We do a lot of green tea, and I plan to transfer this out of its flimsy packaging into some glass jars. I will share some more of our food storage stuff here soon. I do have some older videos that I will, I'll link one in the cards for you, and then you can kind of check out the playlist if food storage is something that interests you. I am still making tweaks. It's like one of those constant things that as you're doing it, you're like, oh wait, this works better here, this works better there. So I'm still making a few tweaks. Just got through a big pantry challenge with Homesteading Family, which was amazing and so helpful. It really helped me to move forward on some of those goals that otherwise might have gotten pushed till later this year and then maybe forgotten about. So I've got good forward momentum. I'm gonna continue that and get this stuff put up. And then with our Azure order, I can't remember if we have to add this or if it is automatically added, but the sales flyer. I love a paper copy of the sales flyer. 1, I like to read what the company is up to. If you don't know, Azure Standard is a family-owned co-op. They have been running since the 80s, and so sometimes there's a little update that's written in there. They have helpful tips sometimes, and then of course you have your sale items in there as well. And so I like to flip through some of the sales. Oh, you've got a lot of your seeds and flowers and stuff for gardening season right now. Looks like that's probably the big highlight of the sales. So take care until next time. Cheers.